Hotep, my single queens and kings. It's your queen Shakoor back with another video. And I know it's been a long time waiting, but when I do these videos, I want to be concise in what I'm speaking about. I want to be as accurate as I possibly can. And these videos are from the heart. They're from the heart. They're not scripted. I don't have any notes, but I do have in here what I want to speak about according to what people have asked me and what people are being concerned about. And this is a topic that encompasses a whole lot of things. When you're speaking about raising children, it's so much that goes into that, because my passion is children, actually. My passion is for children, and especially ancient Egyptian children that's been over in this country and enduring still a lot of things in 2013. And they're being gunned down now without probable cause. And it's just a lot that we're dealing with in this country. There isn't a lot of, I would say, help and guidance in helping single parents raise our children, and so I was compelled to do these videos. I am compelled to do these videos and very passionate about doing these videos and doing whatever I can do to assist in our community of single parents raising our children. Now, our children are special people. They need our guidance. We have to understand our role as parents. And people through the years have asked me questions like, how did you get children like this? How your children are so intelligent or mannerable, respectful, things like this. They study, they're very disciplined, and they're just chilled out too. They're very chilled children, not having a lot of the issues that a lot of parents go through. I'm not saying they're angels, okay? However, I have not experienced the issues that a lot of parents go through with their children, like drugs and sex at a very young age, things like that. And a lot of that has to do with my interaction with my children. So this is my subject in helping single parents, is raising children. And I'll leave all the other things to the other people and the part that they play. And as I find out about them, I will refer you to listen to them as well. Maybe purchase some books by them or some tapes or cassettes or something like that by those people. But my niche here is raising the children, which encompasses a lot, okay? And so I will be doing these videos in these series, answering a lot of your questions. My information will be at the bottom for a consultation if you want that. I am a life coach, and so if you want to speak with me on one-on-one and maybe some issues you're having with your children or even just some issues in your life, I am available to talk to you about that. So just want to let you know that. Hugs to you. Hopefully you hugged yourself today. I want you to know that you're special. You play a very important role in our society as a single parent until that special person comes along in your life. And until then, just know that you are very valuable. You're very, very valuable in this society. And the reason for these videos is because we get a lot of bad rap in the media and from other people, and even kind of looked down upon because you are single and raising your children. It's not, life isn't fair. It's okay. We just have to become in tune more with ourselves and understand our role as that single person and do what we need to do for ourselves, to be good to ourselves. And so what I would like to do in these videos is to give you some suggestions some tips that I did, because I will always share my experiences with you as far as what I did as a single mom raising my children. And one of the things that I became aware of is words, language, is words, language. And I stress that with my children. So you will never hear me call them kids or call other people children kids. When you know what a kid is, and believe it or not, some people don't know what a kid is. They just think that's what your children are, is kids. But they're not. A kid is a baby goat. That's the proper name for a baby goat, is kids. So goats have kids. Humans have babies and children, and then young teenagers, young adults, and then adults. Okay? So we don't have kids. And so if we can get out of calling our children kids, that psychologically and subconsciously and energetically changes your vibration with your children. Just that little thing alone. So if we can stop calling them kids, that will work wonders. You'll be surprised. They're children. And if it feels good to say it, just take a moment and just say it. You know, my children, my children, my children. You know, it feels natural. It feels good to say my children. Okay. One of the issues that was brought to my attention was young teenagers and dating and having girlfriends and having boyfriends. And you know, some of you come from a religious background, whereas this is taboo. It can't happen. Some of us come from a very lenient background where we're just not even monitoring that at all. And what I did and what I do, because I have teenage sons that I'm raising. I raise teenage daughters. They are adults now, and believe it or not, it never ends. They still always need your guidance, and that's okay. Because you have to transition into being a guider as opposed to the dictator that you were when they were young. And your family household should be ran as a dictatorship, for lack of a better word. You are the parent, you are the mother, you are the father. And when they're young, because they're not mature enough to make certain decisions on their own and understand certain things and unwritten rules and laws of life, you need to monitor that and guide them on those things. Okay? So be clear on that. And also throughout their lives, what I've learned is to never cross that line. You are always a parent. You are always a parent. As they get older, they will like you if you do everything right. They will like you. But while you're raising them, I would say, let me put it this way. When my children were young, and I mean young, from a baby on up until adulthood, I did not worry if they liked me. And I would tell them, you do not have to like me. What you will do is respect me. That's what you will do. You don't have to like me. You'll like me later. Okay? Because you'll understand all these things later. Now, that's not to say that I did not give them my attention, my eye contact, and listen to them. See, the whole thing is striking balance with your children and listening to inner that inner God in you that's guiding you. Okay? Because they didn't come with manuals. They say, here's a manual on how to raise, your wonderful little bundle of joy. They didn't come with a manual. And so a lot of times you have to learn to tap into that God is in you, because that child chose to come through you, to come into this world, to experience and learn the life lessons that they came to learn and to experience. And that's going deep into something else. I'm not going to go that deep. I'm just going to stay on the surface with you. Okay? And so because of that, you are held in a high value position. Okay? You're held in a high value position. And you are the person to help them along that experience in this world, in this matrix. Okay? So with your children, as far as to answer that question with dating, what I did with my children is I always just kept it real with them. No matter what, I just kept it real with my children on their level. And I'm a kid at heart, so a lot of my lessons were in a matter of being goofy with them. My children know me, so they know in that goofiness there was something in that. I'm telling them something, but I would just be goofy about it. Like certain situations that would come up. If I can think of an example, I'll share it with you. However, I just kept it real with them. Here's an example. My oldest, who is now 25, she was about 14 years of age, and she called herself having a boyfriend. And I didn't trip on that. No, you're not having no boyfriend, and blah, 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 and you fast thing, you, and blah, 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 and all this and that. A lot of times when parents do that, they're projecting their own guilt and regrets onto their children. Your daughter may not be like that. So be careful with that. And that's why I always start with you first as the parent, and then we can move into some other things. So this is a very sensitive, in-depth, um, I would say, order of things because it encompasses so much. And in order for me to get to the children to help them, I have to come through you. And in order for you to help your children, a lot of times I have to address some of your stuff, some of our adult things that to help you get past some of your stuff too, so that you're not projecting that onto your children. All right, so I digressed a little bit. Getting back to the question, I didn't trip on that real hard. I would just ask questions. Like I said in the last video, ask them questions. Anytime your children is old enough and thinking about things enough to ask you a question, and they should feel like they can come and ask you questions. You shouldn't be going all off and flying off because they ask you a question. It's just a question. And think about that question. Think about it for a moment. You don't have to answer right away if you don't have an answer right away, but think about that question for a moment. And what can you do to guide this person and help them and answer that question on their level to help them so that later on in life they learn how to process things and solve their own problems. That's your main duty, in my opinion, as a parent. Okay? So I would I would invite the young man over, have him come over and have dinner with us, and have him come over and in one of our reading sessions, um, and join in, in the book, in the reading, and get his opinion and what he's thinking. And we would have these talks about man and woman and the nature of a woman and the nature of a man, and how society will, in this matrix, will confuse you in thinking that these things are not for real. The one thing about a woman is a woman in her natural nature will always look for a man that is intelligent and that have a sense of that she can feel safe with, and that doesn't change. Um, a man will always look for a woman that kind of reflects his values and that is intelligent, hopefully, and that's fun to be with, and that's fun to be around, fun to be with, and listen to him, just kind of give him some peace. So we would have, it was more to it, but we would have these discussions, okay? And I didn't trip on it, and you know what? I didn't have any problems because I didn't trip on it. They weren't sneaking around doing things. Now I know they snuck and got the little kisses in and things like that. That's natural. That is nature. Didn't trip on it because, hey, I am a heterosexual woman, and I would love for my children to be heterosexual as well. I prefer her to want to be with guys than girls because she is a young lady. So at that time she was 14. And so I didn't trip on that. We just had a discussion about it, and what she liked about him, and what do they mean that's your boyfriend? We need to go in depth and what do you mean by that's your boyfriend? And this way you get to know your children and how they're learning things out in society outside of your home. That's important. Also, so we would have that discussion sometimes, and so as they were growing up, getting older, they will always bring the guy over for me to meet. Okay, always that because I set that precedence when they were young, and you want to do that because you want to see who they're talking to and what this person is and what kind of family they come from. And when she would bring them by, I would sit and talk to the young man, and I would find these things out. They couldn't go anywhere with anybody without me knowing where they lived, who this person was, what's their phone number. Do their parents know that they're coming to pick you up and you're going over here and there? And that was the type of parent I was, and we need that because right now our children, they need us, I would say, more than ever at this day and time in this matrix. Okay. So that was a question that was asked of me. Just keep it real with your children. When my daughter and that particular person, she came and told me, I don't like him anymore. We're not together anymore, blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, wow. You know what? What if you had sex with that guy and now he's gone? What if you had did it? Oh, Mom, ain't nobody think about that. All embarrassed or what have you. But I will be goofy like that, but keeping it real. And the second guy, when they broke up, oh, what if you had sex with him? And now he's gone. Now you would be known, because now that's two guys. Now you would be known as, the 40th Street Home. So what if you had did that? And because I would keep it real with them in that way, they trusted me, trusted to communicate with me, and they thought about what I said. And that's what you want your children to do, is to think about what you say. They may not always follow it. They're going to make mistakes. Be there for them. They may not always follow it. Now, if you are having some issues with your teenage son right now, let's say he's smoking weed, maybe he's not doing well in school, skipping classes, things like that, I would suggest that you just start to compliment him. Ask questions, hey, how was your day today? Guess what happened to me today? Just start a conversation with them and let them know you're open to talking. Okay? You might even say, like what I did with my children with the book club, and I'll say, listen, you guys, I know you're in school, I know you have homework, things like that. And I never had to help my children with their homework or anything. They just was able to finish it and get it at school, because I always taught them you need to pay attention. You should be able to get what you need in that class. If it's a good teacher or a bad teacher, whatever it is, it's all on you to get your education. And I just teach them to be responsible for their actions, for their decisions, for their thoughts. Okay? Now, if you are a parent, you didn't come from that, and this is new to you, then I suggest you work on some things. I had to work on a lot of things. There were things I had to discern from my parents. I didn't beat my children. I spanked them when they were young. You got to get that in when they're young. And I know that's controversial, but I spanked my children when they were young. I didn't whip them. I spanked them. Okay? However, they received more hugs and more loves and more compliments and more words of encouragement. Like I would tell them, the world is waiting for you to grow up. You're going to do some awesome things like that. I will always tell them those things way more so than they got a spanking. There were just certain things that you got a spanking for, and that was it. And I was able to discern that from the way my parents raised me. Because don't think that everything they did was on point. Okay, they were human. They did the best that they knew what to do according to their parents. And you have to be able to face that, okay? Now, I don't want this video to be real long, because I don't want to have to edit it, because this is raw, okay? It's not scripted. There's no notes or anything. This is raw. But I wanted to answer that question that a parent had given me about the young teenager and having sex. Talk to them about it. They're coming to you because they want you to tell them no. Don't do it. That's what they want. They want you to tell them not to do it. They want you to talk to them about it. They want some other way of looking at it, and give them that. Give them that, and recognize when your children come to you with questions and things like that, that's what they're looking for, your guidance. They're looking for your expertise, your wisdom. Okay? Not looking for you to cuss them out. You shouldn't be doing that. You should not be doing that. I've seen a lot of young women, and these are mainly young women, that just cussing their little babies out. I'm gonna do another video about that and the effect that that's having on that child. Okay. My other suggestion, because I always like to leave you with suggestions that and tips that you can use right away, practical things that you can implement right away. And what I've noticed is that a lot of our ancient Egyptian children specifically does not know who they are. And what I mean by know who they are, know the bloodline, know where they come from, who they are. Okay, who they are, because we were stripped of everything. And I have to talk about this, and it's hurtful for a lot of people, but we need to talk about it. Okay, we should talk about it, because when you know what the root problem is, then you can move up to solve the problem. And so a lot of us don't know all the things that we endured in this country for 450 years, okay, since 1855. I believe it was 18 or 1755 when we came here. We've been dealing with a lot of things, and a lot of stuff is still being played out in our lives today, generation after generation after generation after generation. And so as a parent, I implore you and suggest to you to start to study those things, start to look at your family and think about things, spend some time to yourself, as I stated before. That's very, very important. And start to question. I know, and not to knock anybody in Christianity, but I was a Christian, I was a staunch Christian, but I never closed my mind. And so the one thing that I noticed is that it's a doctrine of not thinking, just believe. And that's not how you were created. You were given a mind. You were given a mind to use. So use it. That means think. Think. Those who govern things think more so than anything else. Don't just believe anything just because you were raised that way, because your parents raised that way. Think. Think on this. Question things. And if you can't question that pastor about something, and you can't question your parent about something, you find somebody you can question about what it is that he's teaching and that they're teaching, and even your parents. Whatever the parents is teaching you, you want to research things. You want to learn to develop your mind, and you want to teach your children to learn to develop their mind, their thinking process. This is important. This is important because so many of us don't think, and a lot of ancient Egyptians don't read. You can't put a price on a book. That's why I created a book club for me and my children, because taking that right hand or left hand and flipping those pages, touching the page that was made from wood, from Mother Earth, and flipping that page affects the neural transmitters in the right brain and left brain, and it integrates both of them, and that's what you want. That's what helps you be able to process and solve your problems. Okay, so you can't put a price on a book. They can come out with all the Kindles and tablets. That's all fine. Technology is great. I'm all for it. But you cannot put a price on a book. Okay, so I implore you to read and study, to go on YouTube. A lot of times, as a single parent, I'm not around strong ancient Egyptian men, and so the way I expose my sons to them is via YouTube, and I kind of hit on that before and named a few people before. Okay, and so one of the things that I suggest, another thing I should say that I suggest, is I purchased this CD. I don't know if you can see this, called Hidden Colors. Hidden Colors. This one is Hidden Colors 1 and Hidden Colors 2. You see that? Hidden Colors 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Hidden Colors 1 and 2. These are awesome. These videos are so awesome. By Tariq Nasheed. I believe that's his name. Tariq Nasheed. Um, these so wonderful. So if you have a son that's, you know, having some issues in school, he is skipping classes, maybe see the school system, that's another video, and I'm running out of time. But this movie will help break down so many things on so many levels with your teenage sons, okay? For you single fathers out there, and even the parents, you parents, so much, and it will spark the interest into starting to research certain things. It will raise their confidence. You'd be surprised how their confidence will increase. They will start to ask questions like, oh wow, mom, I didn't know, or dad, I didn't know that, you know, you were into this or whatever, and maybe you weren't. But when you get this, and you can get these DVDs at, as far as I know, at most black bookstores have them. Most black bookstores have them. Okay. Um, and I know that you can find them there. I'm not sure where else. I think Mike can get it at Amazon. Not sure. But I know your black bookstores will carry it. And you can go online and just find out where to get it. Hidden Colors. Hidden Colors 1, Hidden Colors 2. So worth it. So worth it. Hidden Colors 1, Hidden Colors 2. So worth it. And it's made in a way that you just never even get tired of watching it. Like, I never get tired of watching it and discussing it. My children and I, we just never do. Also,
oh, y'all are discussing
if you have, that's my daughter. If you have, also our sons need some help in dealing with what they call peace officers, the police, the popo guy. These videos helps in that too, and just kind of understand their rights, that they don't have to succumb to a lot of things. They can stay calm, and how to conduct themselves when that happens. This one is the 10 Rules. Very, very good. It's by Flex Your Rights. So go to flexyourrights.com and you can purchase these DVDs, and they're not expensive at all. And this is really good knowledge for them to have, so that they can understand their rights under the laws, okay, for racial profiling. All right, so I suggest those. Continue to, hopefully you're reading the books that I recommended, and also spending some time to yourself, hugging yourself, loving yourself, and I will see you next time. Peace.